Dr. Zyxmore had spent years studying the human mind, searching for weaknesses that could be turned into weapons. Out of all emotions, he believed grief was the most dangerous. When people lost loved ones, they often became unstable, overwhelmed, and easy to control. The Karathi Empire decided to test this theory with brutal precision. Their attack on New Geneva avoided military targets and strategic sites, so only civilians were struck. For 17 minutes, orbital fire rained down, killing thousands and leaving the survivors to spread their pain across the colonies. It was meant to be psychological warfare at its peak. Reporting to the High Command, Zyxmore declared victory, an entire species now drowning in grief. He predicted humans would collapse under the weight of their emotions. At first he seemed right. News channels showed crowds sobbing, vigils burning through the night, and soldiers requesting leave to bury their families. Work slowed across the colonies. Some communities shut down completely. Zyxmore proudly noted, Phase 1 complete. Human productivity down 47%. Military response scattered. They are frozen by mourning, but there was something he had missed. Human grief wasn't like sadness in other species. He had studied the tears and despair but never saw what came after. In the refugee camps, the survivors didn't just cry. They began to plan. Out of their shared loss came a unity the galaxy had never seen before. Maria Santos, who had lost her entire family, stood before soldiers and said firmly, "We need weapons." She wasn't weeping anymore. Her calm, steady voice carried such force that even veterans were shaken. Within weeks, the survivors of New Geneva had built the most efficient war factories in human space. Men and women worked endless shifts without complaint, fueled by something stronger than due to vengeance born from grief. Karathi surveillance noted the surge in activity but dismissed it as chaos. They couldn't recognize what was really happening. Zyxmore tried to explain away the sudden burst of human activity as nothing more than temporary hyperactivity. "They'll burn out within months," he insisted, but he was wrong. The humans didn't fade, they ignited. The first sign of his mistake appeared when Earth shifted its entire industry toward the war effort. Factories that once produced household goods began turning out weapons overnight. Farming colonies rerouted food supplies to feed armies. Research stations abandoned peaceful science to design devastating new technologies. Reported intelligence officer Sexprim, human space has effectively become one massive military-industrial complex. Every settlement is feeding their war machine. But the most frightening change wasn't in the factories, it was in the people themselves. The survivors of New Geneva had become something entirely new, humans with nothing left to lose, and everything to avenge. On the bridge of the UES Vengeance, Captain Elena Rodriguez watched as Karathi defenses fell before her fleet. She felt no joy, no rage, only a cold certainty born of absolute purpose. "Target their civilian centers," she ordered. Her tactical officer hesitated. "Ma'am, those are non-combatants." Rodriguez turned, and in her eyes the crew saw the truth. The Karathi had made a fatal mistake. This wasn't blind fury, it was grief sharpened into precision. "They turned this into a war on families," she said calmly. "We'll end it the same way." What followed was unlike anything the galaxy had ever seen. In a single day, the Karathi High Command received desperate pleas from 17 colonies under siege. Human fleets weren't just advancing, they were dismantling Karathi civilization with chilling efficiency. Dr. Zyxmore's final report was short and grim. Urgent revision to psychological warfare doctrine. Human grief does not weaken them, it perfects them. It strips away fear, pain, and hesitation. Recommend immediate surrender. But his warning came too late. Within 6 months, the Karathi Empire was gone. Not destroyed by human rage, but dismantled piece by sorrow turned into unstoppable purpose.